And welcome back. Seeds of Fortune Incorporated is a not-for-profit platform that's dedicated to empowering members on their journey towards economic security. Now, through strategic programs, scholarships, and financial education, this organization is helping young women of color access competitive opportunities and build essential skills for long-term financial stability. Joining us now is the CEO and founder of Seeds of Fortune, Nitiya Walker. And thank you so much for being with us, Nitiya.
Thank you so much for having me.
Glad to have you. Listen, obviously, it's an important, it's an important thing. We talk about financial stability. It really helping people get on the path to stability. There's so many people who wish that they can do it, but they just can't. And people such as yourself and your organization really are helping to give some footing and at the same time give some footing, also helping people to really just get to that next level. So talk to us a little bit about Seeds of Fortune.
Yeah, so Seeds of Fortune is an online and hybrid scholars program that helps to financially empower young women across the globe, starting with their college education and then going on to help them to develop financial literacy skill sets as well as career development skills as well as they go from their high school years to their college years, which we found have been pivotal times in their growth as young women to instill these skill sets that will last a lifetime.
And so as you take this on, talk about how you reach these young ladies and where they come from.
Yeah, so our girls come from New York City, all over the country, and all over the globe. We really work with young women that maybe come from underrepresented backgrounds, who really have a desire to be successful. They identify as women from multi ethnic backgrounds, and then we help to level the playing field here in the backyard of New York City. We recruit from the New York City public school system as well as other community based organizations, but because they are the next generation, we do reach them online, which has also helped us to expand to other parts of the country, such as Texas, Florida, Georgia, California, and then also across the globe. So we have seed scholars in Ghana and Nigeria, which we're very excited to be supporting their journey through their high school experience to their college experience as young women.
That high school experience is pretty critical, especially making that transition to college. And I know that some of the work that you do is really taking the time and preparing young women for college and getting them ready for that college experience. Can you share a little bit about that? Because I think that's so critical and so much needed.
Definitely. What we found here at Seeds of Fortune is that, college is an intermediate journey to what your career is going to be. So we have kind of flipped it on its backside where we have the girls thinking about their future careers first and then thinking about the college second, right? So, do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be a nurse? Do you want to be in entertainment? Do you want to be a pharmacist, right? What colleges and universities across the globe are going to provide you a world class education and pipeline you into a strong career? With colleges in the US costing almost anywhere from $20,000 on the low end to $95,000 a year on the more high end, it's very important for the girls to be thinking of themselves as consumers in the college market and really thinking about what is this return on investment going to provide to us as young women going into these universities, that I'm going to be able to be employed or create my own opportunities coming out of this ecosystem. So in our program, we really train them to change their mindsets around it and really have a financial literacy lens when it comes to the college experience, both domestically and abroad. And from there, tagging along career experiences in their ecosystem to allow them to gain those exploration opportunities to see which careers could be the best fit for them. And then in that, picking right colleges that will be the best fits for them as well.
So, as I think about some of the work that you're doing, as you mentioned, colleges can go anywhere from $20,000 to almost $100,000 a year. I mean, I'm just cringing just saying that number through my head. But the reality is that yes, colleges are now, universities are $100,000 a year. You can walk out of there paying almost a $500,000 by the time you get to graduation. That's crazy. But
Crazy.
also having the partnerships with these colleges and universities also is a difference maker for some of the young people that you're dealing with. And one of those high-priced universities is Yale University. So, can you share a little bit about the work that you're doing with Yale, because you do have a unique partnership with them?
Yes, definitely. So we have our Yale Seeds of Fortune in partnership with Yale Women in Economics. We started that program in 2021, post-pandemic. We really were able to see during the pandemic, it was the first time we were able to go into the households of our students, right? Our students would come to us for after school programming, and then it was kind of reversed. So we were really able to see a lot of their fears, their concerns. A lot of them were care providers to their families while their parents were essential workers. Some of their parents had lost their jobs. And it was a really difficult time for young women in our community. And what we realized is that they didn't really understand the macroeconomic impact that was playing out, that was affecting their community, and then as a result, their lives. And we were like, how could we develop the next generation of young women of color who are going to be leaders in the workplace, leaders in the community, if they don't understand how the economy works? So we partnered with Yale University's economics department to provide girls in 11th grade an economics education where they would be able to grow and think about the world from an economic lens as well as their communities, learn the macroeconomic concepts. How do these things play out in the greater world that you live and work in? But then narrowing it down to how are these problems affecting your community? And in the future, for them to be part of the solution that will change their neighborhoods, their cities, and then hopefully overall the country and the globe. They spend about 4 months creating a capstone project as groups, and then they present at the Yale School of Management, which is also one of our partners. Before they present at the Yale School of Management, they have a week-long residential program where they get to live on Yale's campus, as well as hear from the Yale admissions office about how to competitively apply to their university. And our alumni have entered into Yale University as well as other top colleges across the country, including Cornell, Princeton, as well as top HBCUs like Howard University. So we're very excited about the results of the program, and our application is actually going to open up on October 31st for the class of 2026 to apply to our scholars program. So we're very excited about it and the growth of the cohort and the program itself.
Yeah. As you look around and you see these young ladies who have the access and the exposure to Ivy League universities, I know we talked about Yale, and I also know that there's some work that you do with regards to Columbia University as well, and I'll let you share a little bit about that. That level of exposure really can be the difference maker in a young person's trajectory. And I think that you captured something here, because you recognize that if I'm exposing you to it, you may have a desire for it. And if you have a desire for it and then you achieve it, you are so far up the ladder. Whereas if you were before, you were just looking.
Definitely. We have a reach for the stars, land on the moon mentality here at Seeds of Fortune. We want our girls to be able to be exposed to the best of the best universities across the country. They see themselves there, they see their peers there, they see women that look like them there, that come from similar backgrounds and similar experiences. But in that ecosystem, they're pushing each other to bring out the best versions of themselves. So you have girls from Brooklyn, you have girls from Queens, girls from Staten Island, the Bronx, you have girls from Manhattan, Inwood, from all the way from Inwood down to the Lower East Side. And then all of those different backgrounds, all those different experiences is creating pressure cookers for excellence and the expectation of excellence. Then you take the girls in New York City, and then we also have girls coming in from other states across the country. So you have girls from Atlanta, girls from Dallas, Texas, girls from Los Angeles, California. And you're seeing that the problems that are in your communities in your local ecosystem is not that different from a girl that is 50 to 100 miles away. And I think that inspires them to be like, look, we are the next generation and we have these opportunities. We're at the best institution that can cultivate our minds, but also these institutions are lucky to have us and our experiences and our perspective that we have to bring to the table. And I think that's really what their capstone projects are about, pulling those resources from the top universities and ecosystems, but then also showing them the value of what's in their community and how beautiful it is. So that when they are moving forward and when they are progressing through their college and their careers, they are the ones that are going back and lifting as we climb and leaving no one behind.
As I look at the work that you do, obviously it's a great body of work that you're doing in terms of preparing young people in the area of education. But then I want to go back also to wealth creation, because we understand that there is this generational wealth gap that exists, particularly in communities of color, particularly when you get down to the African American community. You've made it your passion and focus to say, listen, you know what? I want to do something about this wealth gap. I want to do something when it comes to young women and the wealth gap. And that leads you to doing what?
That lead me to creating a very unique curriculum that allows for teenagers at a period in time when they're 17, 18 years old to start thinking about things that are going to impact them 4 to 5 years from now. As you mentioned before, colleges can run you almost $400,000 a year. The most expensive is 90,000 a year. The average American makes $50,000 a year. The economics just don't add up. With teaching the girls to be consumers of the collegiate process and really thinking about the value proposition that these colleges offer, but then also trying to get the most aid and scholarship based off of their merit, as well as maybe circumstances that are out of their control, it allows for the leveling of the playing field. Our girls, on average, maybe graduate with $21,000 of debt, where in the African American community, it's about $50,000 over a lifetime. That's a lot to pay back, and that exasperates the wealth gap. You're not able to buy a home, right? Because you're still trying to pay off your payments from undergrad that you went to 15 years ago, right? That was supposed to be a step up in the economy and making your socioeconomic mobility better. So we're just really excited for the girls to have this kind of transition in mindset and in their financial ecosystem and opportunities. We also have a financial literacy course that we created in Seeds of Fortune called Return on Investment that teaches them about savings accounts, right? What is an investment account? And then how does this correlate to you as a young woman in college? We partnered with Chase to do a credit card workshop with their Harlem branch. So it's just really exposing the girls at a younger level to have the tools to be successful. And even if you make mistakes along your financial journey, because nobody's perfect, you now have at least a blueprint, right, on how things can be done. And then also how you can be corrective in your financial journey as well.
That financial journey is huge, and to have it for young people set up from an early age on, obviously, when we look at other families and we look at, let's just call it, white families, they get the early start. They get the early education. They get the early information to say, listen, you know what, this is the way that we do it. This is the way that we achieve wealth or go after it. And it's something that sometimes we don't have that conversation in our homes all the time. To
Definitely.
have those conversations are extremely, extremely critical. But for you, what is that importance of financial literacy and education? What does that mean for you?
For me, it means to be able to have the freedom, right? The freedom, I think what you're talking about when you see the families are talking about kind of generational wealth and being able to build upon what they have created in the past, right? Because that's what leads to generational wealth. It's allowing myself and my girls to have the freedom of options and choice to be able to do what they need to do in order to be successful, right? Because when you have limited resources, when you have limited opportunities, it just doesn't allow for you to be able to even think about building wealth. But you take those barriers away, right? You're going to be the first person to earn six figures in your family. That allows you to have the disposable income to be able to invest in properties and invest in businesses, which has generationally not been the case. So for me, it's giving the gift of freedom to my students and to myself, right, to be able to have those opportunities. In addition to that, we expanded globally, and now we have Seeds of Fortune Ghana, and we'll be doing our tech and entrepreneurship boot camp, and we're partnering with Afro Future to be able to allow for our girls to have an expanded appetite for what's happening across the globe, especially in diaspora. We've been around for about 10 years, so our oldest alumni are around 29. So they're investing in the disposable income to go on a vacation and to do a service trip. So we're doing the Ghana service trip in 2024, December, and our alumni are actually helping to fundraise through the service trip to sponsor our girls in Ghana to have a tech and entrepreneurship girl startup experience. So it's like when you plant one seed, right? We planted a seed here in New York City to allow for our girls almost 9 or 10 years ago to be able to go to college, get good jobs. And now they're planting seeds and extending that globally to our girls in another country, right? Because even growing up, some of them didn't even have the opportunity to have a vacation because there wasn't enough money going around. But now, with the tools of financial literacy, with reduced debt, student loan debt, with getting high income earning jobs, this allows them the freedom of options and opportunities, and as well to become a seed in other people's lives.
For yourself, there's another word that I want to use to describe you. You know, you're a mentor, and you do a lot of mentoring. What's the power of mentorship mean to you, particularly when it comes to the lives of young women and young women, particularly of color?
To me, I think the whole organization started based off of mentorship. So when I was a high school senior, I was kind of lost. I was a high achieving student. I like had good grades, but nobody was there at first to like kind of navigate the ecosystem. And I had a wonderful woman named Phyllis D. Pearson. She was a Girl Scout troop leader. And I asked, I was like, can you help me to kind of navigate the finances of college, how to be able to afford college and be competitive for scholarships? And she took the time out to work with me in the public library of New York City for 6 weeks and mentored me on how to present myself for scholarships, how to think more strategically about the process. And I feel like that's the type of mentorship that I provided to our first seed scholars and that our team provides to our girls in New York City and across the globe now, right? Because you can see what you want to be, but then the actual route to get there is unclear. And I feel like for me at Seeds of Fortune, we've been able to kind of take away some of that blurriness as well as gatekeeping of opportunities and make it accessible for girls here and abroad.
Yeah. Also, you know, with that mentorship comes the opportunity to create this like sisterly network, and I know that's near and dear to you. So, talk to us about how those two mesh together.
Definitely. I feel like in New York, I grew up with a lot of strong Black women in my community and my neighborhood, and they inspired me to know that there was so much more that I could achieve and that they were achieving. And I feel like for Seeds of Fortune, that sisterly network, peer camaraderie, as well as mentorship up with professionals and people in the C-suite allows for that sisterly network to be able to foster. And also, what we saw was that once you get into college, once you get into corporate America, everybody says it's not what you know, right? It's who you know. And we want our girls to be the who you know is going to help support you along the way, right? So, making these intentional social capital ecosystems where the girls they meet each other at 16 years old, they might go off to the same colleges together, right? They might be in the same industry and like somebody maybe got laid off or somebody's looking for a job opportunity and it's a seed person that helps to put them on. We have a WhatsApp communities chat where girls are like dropping internships in there and like, hey, like, did you get into this college fly-in program? Like, just encouraging each other. And then even if you're the first in your family to go to college or you're the first in your family to be in corporate America, there's other women that are now your seed sisters in New York and across the globe that are rooting for you and wanting you to be successful and helping to put you on into opportunities. So that's what the Seeds of Fortune Sisterhood Network is all about and what we try to exude for the members that come into the organization.
For people who want to know a little bit more about what you got coming up down the calendar, what are some events that people could look to and participate in?
Definitely. Well, we have our College Prep Leadership at Columbia coming up on October 18th and 19th on Riverside Church. We have our Yale Women in Economics applications opening up on October 31st. And then if you are willing to take a trip to the beautiful country of Ghana. We have our Ghana service trip coming up to launch our financial empowerment center, and really so excited from all of our supporters there, as well as the Afrofuture team that is supporting our endeavors abroad. So we have some fun things coming up this fall and this winter, and would love for you all to be a part of it. You can follow us at Seeds of Fortune, our Instagram handle, as well as www.seedsoffortune.org, or find us on LinkedIn at Seeds of Fortune as well.
And when we talk about Seeds of Fortune, so much up under that umbrella. I didn't mention a little bit about the Girl Startup Incubator that you have, and the accelerator, I should say. So for those who don't know what the Girl Startup Accelerator is, why don't you share with us that too?
Yeah, so the Girl Startup Accelerator is a global entrepreneurship social impact program. Our Girl Startup Accelerator helps girls to think about social impact ideas that will solve problems in their communities while learning entrepreneurial skill sets. But then they also get to build a website based on Wix.com's backend. So then they become marketing little pros, and then they get to pitch their businesses in a competition. So the competition, it happens at BMO Capital Markets in Times Square, the semifinals round, and the finalist round happens with our partners at the Grant Cardone Foundation in Miami for the domestic program. And then for our Tech and Entrepreneurship Girl Startup Bootcamp in Ghana, we have it at Gimpa University, and then the pitch competition is going to be at Google across campus. The girls can win anywhere from $500 to $6,000 that can go towards their college education or funding their ventures. So we're super excited about the Girl Startup Initiative, and our girls have come up with some great entrepreneurial endeavors that we know are going to change the world, and have gotten into some great universities that we know will change the trajectory of their lives.
And for people who want more information, how do they go about reaching and contacting you?
Definitely, they can go to our website at www.seedsoffortune.org. If they would like to donate to our organization, you can go to seedsoffortune.org/donate. And if they're looking to apply to any of our programs, they can go on our programs page on our website, or follow us for updates on our Instagram at Seeds of Fortune.
And Nitiya, I want to say that, with the work that you're doing, obviously you're pouring into a lot of the lives of young people, and you've seen the success stories that come. What is it that allows you to keep on going and doing, given the fact that you got so much under your umbrella? And this isn't light work here. This is some heavy work.
Definitely. I think it's the success of the young women. We see them come in at 16 years old, and they're trying to figure themselves out. They have so many ambitions and dreams, or maybe they're a little uncertain about their dreams, and they want to be cultivated by a community of others that can help them sharpen their iron. And then you see them go through college at 18 to 21, and then they're like kind of getting their stride, like finding their major, getting their first internship, and now all the way to seeing our first seeds, like getting their first jobs out of college, really seeing them come from maybe a lower moderate income household to being the first one to make $70,000 to $100,000 in their first 5 to 6 years out of college. I think that's what inspires me. And then to see them come back and help the other fellow seeds under them is just really inspiring to see how one just planting one idea inside of a few people can really help to transform a community.
Nitiya Walker, it's been a pleasure having you here on the Social Justice Forum as you continue to empower and really delve into some of the issues that so many people are facing. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me today.
All righty. We are taking a quick break, but listen, coming up afterwards, we're going to talk about some of the laws that are out there that have recently changed and how they impact you. That's up next, right after this.